Hey Z Team, how are you? It's Michael Zappia here in Santa Fe, New Mexico. And I just got home from work, worked a long, about a 12, 13-hour shift at my job, my JOB. I don't really call it a job or a JOB. I don't know why I keep saying that. Everything I do is mine, it's my business, I own it. Even when I work for other people, I always used to tell people, I never ever refer to somebody else as my boss. Or I really don't even like calling somebody else my manager or supervisor. I've always disliked those kind of terms. I guess ever since I was younger, I just really resonated with somebody being my partner. I'm their partner. And I don't know if every business appreciates that about their employees, but I will tell you this. If somebody owned a company and had someone like myself, or maybe even yourself, work for them, and they treated it like they owned it, I would want that kind of employee. I would want the employee that had the mindset that, you know what, they take ownership of it as if it is theirs. Could you imagine if everyone took ownership of the job or the career or the position or whatever they had, and when they walked in, they treated it like they owned it? Could you imagine how a business would explode if not just the owner, but all the people in the building walked in like they owned it? What do you think would change? What do you think would be different? Well, first of all, everyone would be showing up really freaking early, right? Because when you own a business, let's say you invested thousands, tens of thousands, whatever the cost to start a business is, and many of you out there have, and I have. But when you invest in like a traditional type of business, and you have to shell out 50 or 100,000 or whatever it takes to get a business started, well, guess what? Your number one goal is to get even or get in the black as soon as you possibly can. Who likes being in the red? Nobody. You know, the whole goal of business is to get yourself in a position where you're making a profit, right? So if everyone had that entrepreneurial mindset in any career that they choose, and if everyone under the roof of one building walked in and felt as if they actually owned it and they took that responsibility to make things work no matter what. Let's face it, the entrepreneur is a type of person that starts a business, and normally in most cases, not like the business that we're a part of here with Transact Card, but normally in most businesses, you're shelling out quite a bit of money for a franchise or whatever the cost might be, or rent or a lease and products and whatever you got to do to start a traditional business. In most businesses, you as the entrepreneur are starting out in a hole. And that leads me to the first thing that I want to talk to you about. You're watching this in the morning, but the first thing I want to talk to you about this evening, I've got a bunch of things I want to talk about, and if it's okay with you, and hopefully it is okay with you, I don't want to be scripted. I just want to flow, and I want to let my thoughts just pour into the camera right now with 100% intentions on this helping those of you out there who want to be successful with your business with Transact Card, who want to be successful in this crazy world of free enterprise and network marketing. And of course, this business with Transact Card is not your typical free enterprise business. It's more of a franchising model, which I think a lot of us really appreciate. This isn't your typical MLM type of a structure thing, although it certainly pays you on multiple levels of people. But there's something different here. But even if there's something different here, the bottom line is the things that you have to do in order to build this business are still the same. So I'm kind of hitting on this first point of this video is, number one, this didn't cost you that much money to get started. And that's a mentally, it's a hard thing to get past. And it was never hard for me, and I'm going to tell you why it was never hard for me. Because I always treated it like this business costs me a lot, because for me it did. I'm going to share a little personal story for you. So those of us who started with Transact Card, we invested $495. We signed up. We put in the application for our card. I just got my card. It's up on the table over there. Actually, let me grab it real quick because I love my new Transact card. Just got it in the mail the other day. Haven't used it yet. I got to talk to Colette. I got to lean on my partner. I got to lean on my power line. There's my Transact card. There it is. I didn't even take it out of the thing yet because I don't like to do anything without Colette telling me what I need to do. But I can't wait to start swiping this thing. I can't wait to start building up Z-Bucks. Love that they're called Z-Bucks once again. And I can't wait to start buying things in the e-commerce store for wholesale at a discount. What a great concept this is. I think this thing could explode. I think it will explode, and I'm happy to be a part of it. But what I was getting at there when I started out this video was a simple thought. And most people don't treat a business like this the way they deserve to treat it. And what I mean by that is it doesn't cost enough to get started. So my mentor, when he mentored me, he asked me a question. He said, Michael, he said, I need you to write me a check for $500,000. The first night I was going to meet with him, the first morning I was going to meet with him, he said, come over to my house. I need you to bring a blank check with you. And when I sat with him the first day, he goes, I need you to write me a check for $500,000. And I was taken back by what Mr. Call said to me. Richard Call's the name of my mentor, one of the greatest in the industry. And I laughed at him. I said, you want me to write you a check for $500,000? Is this some kind of joke? And he said, no, it's not a joke at all. As a matter of fact, I'm dead serious. He goes, I need you to write me a check for $500,000. I didn't know where he was going with this. And quite frankly, I wasn't very comfortable writing a check for $500,000 for two reasons. Number one, if he decided to cash it, it was going to bounce. Number two, if I ever get to the point where I have $500,000 in my bank account, I don't want somebody to have that check and just withdraw everything I put in there. So for two reasons, I absolutely did not want to write a check for $500,000. He goes, humor me, write the check. So I wrote $500,000. I signed my name to it. Put his name in there, wrote out 500,000 and 00 over 100, and I handed him the check. And he looked at me, he goes, I want you to do me a favor. And I said, what's that, Mr. Call? And he said, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to pretend as if the business that you got started, and just so you know, the business at the time was a video company called VM Direct, an email provider called Hello World. It was one of a kind. There was never a company like it. At the time, we were the first streaming video company in the world. That was my first success story in network marketing. I built a big team of people, made lots and lots of money, did really, really well, helped a lot of people, changed a lot of paths. That's where I got my first start in network marketing. And that business only cost $2,000 to join. More than what this one costs, but $2,000 back in 2003. And he said, I want you to imagine that the business didn't cost you $2,000 to get started. He said, I want you to actually make yourself believe it's going to cost you $500,000 to get this business started. And I want you to write that check because I need for you to believe that you invested this much in this business. Now you didn't, you only invested a couple thousand. And he said, don't worry about it. I'm not going to do anything with this check. I'll keep it in my safe. It'll never go anywhere. But he goes, he goes, do me a favor. Answer me a question. He said, if it cost you $500,000 to start your business, what would you do the moment you left my house tonight? And he made me stop and think. So let me stop telling the story about Mr. Call and me back in 2003. And let me look you in the eyes of the camera right now. And stay with me right now. I know this is video. I know you could be brushing your teeth, combing your hair, doing whatever it is you're doing. You might be on the Zoom right now watching this, not paying attention, eating breakfast. But I'm asking you to take this seriously. Because I did. 20 years ago. I took the conversation seriously. It was January of 2003. And boy, oh boy, did I take the conversation seriously? So I'm asking you to stop what you're doing right now and be with me. Be with us, whoever's on the Zoom right now. Be with me, be with us, be present. Stop for a second. If you have to, grab your checkbook and write a check for $500,000 to Transact Card. And hand it to somebody. Give it to somebody in your house. Hey, take this. I want you to hold on to this. Write void over the top of it if it makes you feel more comfortable. But I want you to experience this real conversation. The last team that I built was a team called Team U. Some of you, many of you who are a part of this team called Zteam with Transact Card are people that I've had the pleasure, and it was a pleasure, and the privilege to mentor and teach some of these things that I'm sharing with you all today. Some of you I had to do this exercise for real. And some of you watching right now actually wrote me a check for $250,000 or $500,000. I can't remember the dollar amount, but it was one of the two. And I asked people to bring a check to me or mail me a check, and a lot of people did. I still got it in my safe. It's locked up in my safe right now. There's about a half dozen to a dozen checks in there from a handful of people who took me seriously. And I'll bet you if I go in that safe right now and look at the names of those people that sent it, I'll bet you they did pretty well for themselves. So that's why I want you to experience this for yourself as well. Maybe you're not doing that right now. Maybe you're watching me right now and saying, does he really want me to go get a check? Yeah, I really actually do. But if you're not going to do it now, do it later. And I'm doing this because I want you to understand what one of the biggest reasons people fail in network marketing. I'm going to tell you right now, one of the biggest reasons people fail in this industry, this great industry, free enterprise, multi-level marketing, network marketing, relationship marketing, like I talked about in the last training we did last week. It's got 100 different names. It is what it is. Get paid to share a product or service with other people. Get paid a lot if you share it with a lot of people. Get paid a little if you share it with a few people. Help a lot of people make money in this profession. Help a lot of people become successful. Teach people to teach people to teach people how to be successful. And if you're at the right place at the right time with the right company and the right product, and you actually go to work like you could go to work right now with Transact Card, consider yourself one of the luckiest people in the world if that happens for you. And it can happen for you. And this could be the company. And this could be a dynamo. We could be sitting on top of a gold mine right now with less than 10,000 people that are involved, and probably less than 1,000 people who are kind of serious, and probably less than 100 people who are serious, and probably about 20 or 30 people who are putting their heart and soul into this company in the hopes that this becomes something that thousands or tens of thousands or millions of people are going to get involved with in the coming weeks, months, years. Could you imagine what it would be like if millions of people get involved with this company and you're one of the 20 or 30 people who take it ultra seriously? So, now I'm going to tell you why I was wildly successful in this business 20 years ago, in this kind of business, why I was successful throughout the past 20 years, no matter what the company I was with. And I'm going to take you back to the first company I was with that I just mentioned. It was actually my second company, but the first company that I really had a chance to create a fortune and build a really strong team and develop my leadership and my skills and my chops and become more attractive in the marketplace. And I'm going to touch on that in a second with a power quote here momentarily. Because for me, when Richard had me write that check for $500,000, I believe, and I don't remember correctly because that was 20 years ago, but I believe I looked at Richard and said, Richard, this business is going to cost me a whole heck of a lot more than $500,000. And he looked at me, I believe, and he said, oh, why is that? And I said, you didn't have me write a big enough check. And I went on to let him know that I'm giving up on my lifelong dream as a professional football player to be a part of this business. I'm sacrificing my lifelong dream to play in the National Football League. A true story, by the way. I turned down a chance to become a Philadelphia Eagle. And John Harbaugh was the special team coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. Now he's the head coach of the Baltimore Ravens. He's won a Super Bowl. He was in another Super Bowl, multiple Super Bowls. And John Harbaugh wanted to sign me to the Philadelphia Eagles in 2006, as a matter of fact. And even though I don't have all the timelines and the years right now, because a lot of it is fuzzy in my head, the bottom line was I knew when I got into network marketing with that company, VM Direct and Hello World, and I knew when I engaged in that company that I was literally, it was 2004, the Eagles wanted to make me an Eagle in 2004. I knew that I was giving up a major chance in my life to becoming a multi-millionaire in professional sports. And I can tell you hand to heart that I feel like I could have played 10, 15 years in the NFL. And truth be told, I did choose network marketing and the chance to be on the ground floor of a revolutionary company with streaming video like what you're looking at right now. The first company in the world to do this streaming video stuff. And I believe so much in that company that to me, the cost, what I was sacrificing, what I was giving up was worth a whole heck of a lot more than $500,000. So I'm going to ask you, if you never heard my story before and you didn't know whether or not I was successful, do you think I made it with that company? Oh yeah. I made it with that company. I went out there that first month and enrolled 7 people and helped them enroll a total of 37 people. And that next month I started to get excited and exhilarated. Remember I was talking about in the last video, it's exhilarating building this kind of business, watching it grow from 37 people, 118 people the second month, and then it grew by 187 people in the third month. And by the 12th month, we were bringing in over 1,000, 2,000 people a month. And I watched not only my business and my team grow, but I watched my wallet and my bank account grow, and I watched my influence and my leadership grow, and I watched my whole life do one of these. I went from broke kid from Buffalo, New York, whose only dream was to become a Buffalo Bill and play in the NFL, to success story in the network marketing industry. Major success story. $100,000 a month earner, $1 million plus earner, $2 million, $3 million crossed my bank account in commissions. And when I say that word million, I know that turns a lot of people off. I just want to let you know that I've been here before. I've done this before. I know what it is to sacrifice time, energy, and everything to build a business that has the potential to set you and your family up for the rest of your life. And that's how serious this kind of business can be, provided we are at the right place with the right company at the right time. And I can only pray for each and every one of you. I can only pray for each and every one of you who's going to put in the effort and the energy and the time to develop yourself and your skills, and to develop the skills and to help develop the individuals that you're going to come across in the coming days, weeks, months, years with this business. Should we be with this company for years? And I hope we are. But I only hope and I only pray that this becomes something that can give you financial freedom. Just the other day, I was getting out of work and I had a rough day. We have good days and we have bad days, right? Can you guys relate? Those of you out there who have jobs or who have careers or businesses or whatever you want to call it in your mind, to make sure that you can wake up every day and do it and still sleep at night and just get through the days. Sometimes you got to brainwash yourself. Just tell yourself, I love what I do. And you might not even love what you do, but you got to just tell yourself it so when you wake up every day, you can enjoy it to a certain extent, right? And I texted Colette the other day and I said, Colette, it's kind of a personal thing that I'll share with you. I said, Colette, get me out of here. Get me out of here. And what I meant by that was, Colette, build this thing, work with the team, and get this to a point where I can put more time into Transact Card. Right now, I have to put the time and energy into the career, the car business that I'm a part of now. I actually love it, but I want my freedom. I want my freedom. I want the freedom to wake up and do whatever I want to do whenever I want to do it. I heard a man talk about that 20 plus years ago. I mentioned his name already, Richard Call. And he at the time was 62 years old. And when he was telling his story from the front of the room, he had complete financial freedom. And guys, I've wanted that life for myself so badly that I got to experience it for a little while. I made enough millions, wasn't smart enough to know what to do with the millions. Otherwise, I might not be here with all of you today. But I made enough in a pretty short period of time to set me up for, quite frankly, a long time. And I lived off the income I made from that company for well over a decade. I did so well with that company that I was able to live off that money for well over a decade. And if I was a little bit older and a little bit wiser and knew what I was doing financially, like I said, maybe we wouldn't be here today with this company, and maybe I wouldn't be able to spit some wisdom out at you. Hopefully this is wisdom for you that can help you get to where you want to go in your life. So Colette, you listening to me? Get me out of here. Get me out of here. Build the Transact team, the Z team, so big. I know you can do it. There's nobody better than you. Build it so big that you force your partner out of a full-time position that he loves right now into something that he will love more than anything, which is giving back and helping people build a residual income and creating financial freedom, which you know I want to do more than anything else in the world. So anyway, we're at about 21 minutes and 30 seconds, and I promised I would keep this video to only 30 minutes. I hope you're getting something out of this. I hope something that I shared with you resonates with you. I hope maybe you're getting a little excited, like, oh my God, freedom, can you imagine? Waking up whenever you want to wake up and do whatever you want to do. Guys, I've lived that life for a little short period of time in my life. Well, not a short period of time, a decade. I lived that way because of the millions of dollars I earned with that company. And I got to tell you, there's nothing better than that feeling. There's nothing better than that feeling of realizing that when you wake up, whether you work or don't work, money is still rolling in. Rolling in. So much so that you really, I mean, unless you're just a huge spender and you like blowing money, you really couldn't possibly spend all of it over the course of a month. And that's what happened for me, and that's what happened in my life. So let me share a couple other things with you that were on my mind prior to me hitting the play button for today's training and today's teaching. Other thing I want to talk about is, what do you do when you want to build that team and create that space? Like, what are the next steps? Okay, Mike, I got it. Pretend like you invested $500,000. You're going to take it more seriously. You're going to call more people. You're going to wake up early. You're going to stay late. You're going to work around your job, extra hours. You're going to do everything you can to build the team. Yeah, all those things. But what do you do? Like, what are your first steps? And one of the first things I do, excuse me, I have a little back pain. One of the first things that I do, and not that I've done, that I currently do, is I set up my home as my business. Matter of fact, if you kind of take a look around here, I'm here in my living room, kitchen area, dining room area, and there's my 2 Vera desks. I got the thing that's going to grab 2 monitors, the double monitor holder, whatever you want to call it, from Veridesk the other day. I've got my dining room table behind me there. I've got papers and things on the counter. I mean, I got this space set up like what I call a war room. A war room. You got to have a space to work from in your house. For me, it's my whole house. I mean, this is my life. My business is my life. I got a living room, I'm sitting on a couch. I got my TV here. I got my kitchen and my dishes and all those things. Of course, my bedroom, my bathroom, and all that stuff. But I set up my workspace because I got to be comfortable in my workspace. I got to get ready to work. I get everything ready. I like to get a big whiteboard or an easel or a big Office Max notepad, the ones that stick to the wall, the jumbo size ones. And I like to make a list. I haven't done it yet with this company, but now that I'm mentioning it to all of you now, I'm going to do it. I'm going to get my easel set up here. I'm going to get a whiteboard from Veridesk. I saw one the other day. I almost bought it, but it was $800. It was a nice glass whiteboard. It's perfect. I held off the resistance of buying it. because I just didn't want to spend the money right now. I've got the money. I just didn't want to spend it all in one swoop, But you get your whiteboard set up and you got to map out your game plan, your goals, your strategy. For me, on that whiteboard, I make a list of 1 to 30. And I challenge each and every one of you, make a list from 1 to 30. Do it. And I make a goal that in the next 30 days, I'm going to bring 30 new people into my business. Every single person watching me right now can do this. You see, if you don't see it mapped out in front of you, if you don't see 1 through 15 and then 16 through 30 in the middle of the page for the right side there, so half and half, 1 through 15, 16 through 30, that's how I do it. That's how I suggest you do it. There's your next 30 partners. There's no names on there yet, but guess what? You put in your mind's eye that this thing's going to be full within 30 days. I challenge you to do that. Go enroll 30 people in a Transact card in the next 30 days. 30 people at $495. You can do it. And if you fail, that's okay. How many did you get? 1, 3, 5, 7, 10, 15, 30. Now for me, I put the challenge out there to personally enroll 30 people. Now I know those people as they're coming in are going to bring in other people. I'll grab another whiteboard for the people they bring in, but the people I enroll, I challenge myself, 1 person a day. 1 person a day. 1 person a day. How hard could it be to talk to 1 person a day? Hold on 1 second. How hard can it be? I worked a 13-hour shift today. I'm home tonight at 10:13 p.m. recording this video for you all for tomorrow's teaching. And I've got thousands of people in my phone right now. But how hard would it be for me to just find 1 person? I'm going to do this. My friend Mark Afoa. You could teach people, but I'd rather show people, right? I'm going to send a video. Mark Afoa, how are you? Question mark. Is this still your number? It's been years since we spoke. I was just thinking about you. Miss you, love you, wanted to catch up with you and see what's going on in your world, my friend. It's been way too long. Zap. I just sent that text message to Mark Afoa. There's 1 person. Now, I'm not going to pitch them or, hey, you got to check this thing out, guys. It's just about engagement right now. It's not about anything else. Let's find somebody else in the A's. Here's a big one. This one was on my chicken shit list. Wayne Allen Root. Period. It's Michael Zappia. I don't know if you have this number. It's my second cell phone number. A couple months ago, I texted you and I really wanted to talk to you and catch up. When you have a chance, please let me know when we can jump on a call together. I work in Albuquerque every day and I commute from Santa Fe from 7:30 to 8:30 a.m. Mountain, and in the evening from 7 to 8 p.m. Mountain. I have a ton of window time and I would really love to catch up with you if you have time to catch up with me. Love you, brother. Look forward to hearing from you. So, 2 people right there. I just sent a couple messages. I got thousands of people. You have hundreds, if not thousands of people yourself. Are we going to share this with them? We're going to keep this a little secret. You don't want to keep this a secret. You want to share this. Imagine a debit card that every time you swipe, you get a dollar for dollar match to buy something in an e-commerce store that gives you basically the same stuff you'd buy at retail now at wholesale because of the power of the card and the swipe. And imagine everyone you introduce to this, every time they swipe, you get paid a percentage of everything that they purchase through the processing fees. I know it sounds crazy to you. I know this sounds crazy. There's a company like that out there called Transact Card. I'd like to be the person that introduces it to you. Come on, how hard is this? I don't know everything about that. I'll be the first to admit to every single one of you, and I'm going to close here shortly. I don't know everything about this company. Colette, my partner, is flying to Utah next weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, one of 20 people. She's a vice president in the company. Colette, congratulations. That's all you, Colette. And she's got senior managers she's working with like Annabelle and Trish and Lacey and so many other people that I don't want to leave anyone. I met some beautiful people, Kim and Amy, and Steve Yurjevich is building this business, and he's got a team growing, and just there's so many of you out there. Lacey Johnson. There's just a lot of people that have found out about this, and we're all in the very, very beginning. What are we going to do with this? What are we going to do with this? Well, our leader right now, Colette Daniels, is going to sit with the owners of the company, and I can assure you a couple weeks from now when she gets out of that meeting, she will be absolutely on fire. And when she's on fire, she's going to light all of us on fire with her enthusiasm about what we really got our hands on. I know that that's coming very, very soon for you. So anyways, I shared some things with you. I didn't share everything with you. I've got so much more to share with each and every one of you, but little bite-sized pieces, little chunks is what I want to do for this team. I love my role as a mentor to all of you, as maybe a teacher for all of you. I'm at that phase in my career where I can teach anybody how to build a massive business. But my question for all of you is, are you willing to go out there and treat this like you own it? Are you going to pretend as if you put so much in this that you got to make the money back and you got to put in the extra hours and the work? Because that's the difference between the person who makes it in this field and the person who doesn't. And are you just ready to have some fun? Because this business is a lot of fun when you work hard. This business is hard when you work easy. It's easy when you work hard. And don't ever forget that. And one last thing, because I remembered what I said earlier, I'm going to close and I'm going to end with this for today's training for this group of amazing people. And if you liked what you heard today, comment down below. Please let me know what you got out of it. I don't need any accolades. I don't need anything to feed my ego. That's not where I come from. I just want to know if I'm making a difference and if anything I said helped light you up like a firecracker today, where you're going to go out there and go make this happen for you and your loved ones, your family, your friend, and all the people that you're going to spend all that time with because you have financial freedom because of Transact Card. But the one thing I want to end this with is simple. It's a power quote. And a power quote is something that I either learned or created along the way. That's a powerful little expression or quote, sometimes acronym, that makes it easy for me to remember how to teach this business. So here's the power quote. In order to attract the business you want, in order to attract the people you want, in order to attract the life that you want, in order to attract the things that you want in your life, whether they be physical things, people, relationships, riches, whatever the case might be, in order to attract whatever it is you want out of this business, you must become more attractive. And when people hear that, they're thinking, like physically, like I gotta look better, I gotta be leaner, I gotta be healthier, I gotta look more fit. That's part of it. I'm not gonna lie to you, that's part of it. I learned years ago, the more physically fit I got, the more people were just attracted to me. It was amazing what I experienced when I got in the best shape of my life for my NFL football career years ago. Amazing what happened by spending so much time in the gym. But I'm not referring to us in our 40s and 50s going out there and getting chiseled. And no, I'm referring to being attractive in every aspect of your life. Attractive spiritually, attractive mentally, attractive emotionally, attractive physically, attractive relationally, attractive nutritionally, and attractive financially. I call those the 7 path changer pillars. 7 of them: spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, relational, nutritional, and financial. The 7 pillars of your life that you and I can work on in order to be more attractive. And when you grow and you develop the attractiveness in any one of those 7 key areas of your life, you will attract amazing people into your life. And that's a fact. It's as simple as that. How do I know this? After 20 plus years of being in home-based business, network marketing, personal development, every time I've grown, I've noticed the people around me growing as well, or I noticed me attracting people that I never would have been able to attract when I was that guy 20 years ago. So believe it or not, what this business is about, it's not about a card, although it's a part of it. And it's not about making money and getting Z-Bucks and all that stuff. No. It's about you becoming more attractive so that you can attract people to you. And what you'll notice when you focus on improving yourself in those 7 pillars in your life, you'll start to notice everything around you changes. So one last power quote. When you change, everything around you changes. When you focus on changing you and making yourself better, everything around you gets better. So all you have to do is work hard on you, and everything else will naturally fall into place. So with that, my name is Michael Zappia. I'm here to help and teach and mentor and to grow this team called Transact Card. So anyway, Colette, thanks for sharing this. I love each and every one of you. I'm hoping and praying that this is the vehicle for us, and I'm willing to do my part and whatever I've got to do to be a major player on this team to help this team grow. I'll see you all soon.